Hi folks, to mask or not to mask? That is the question. I just thought I'd share this little experience here from when I was going to the hospital before I went actually in for operation, and things that consequently happened during about masking really. But I had to go for a consultation with the surgeon and the anaesthetist and all that sort of thing. Have a blood test, you know, do all them things that they have to do, sign all them papers that say if you die it's your fault because you signed on the dotted line and all that stuff. But I had to go and see a consultant first in one part of hospital. This is Aarau hospital in Switzerland. I'll put a link to it down underneath. They're having a lot of building work done at the minute, but that's by the by. So yeah, I had to go in up to the second floor and go and see this receptionist to tell them that I were there, obviously. And at the side of her booth there's a little waiting room on the corridor. Now, when I first went up to her, I just said, give her my name and everything and when my appointment were, and she went, oh yeah, very good, blah 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 blah. I went to sit down, or went to go and sit down in the waiting room, and she went, oh, you have to put a mask on. Now, while I was waiting, when I first got to the desk, she was sat at the desk talking to a colleague. The receptionist herself had the mask under her nose, and a colleague had no mask on at all. Right? So she said to me, well, you've got to wear a mask. And I went, well, no, thank you. I don't want a mask. I've had enough of masks. I'm sick of wearing masks. I'm not wearing a mask. Can't breathe in a mask. Fogs my glasses up. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, but you've got to wear a mask. I says, well, I am actually wearing one now, as a joke. And she went, where? I said, it's down the back of my underpants because I'm afraid of the monkeypox now. So I thought I'd be safer wearing it down my pants than, than on my face. But anyway, she tried to insist. She didn't even crack a smile at that. But that's how it works. But she did try and insist, and I says, well, look, I'll stand in the corridor because she says you have to wear it in the waiting room, not in the changing room. And I says, I'll stand in the corridor, which I did. I said, right, I'll go and stand in the corridor. Because there were people walking up and down, some masks, some unmasks, in the corridor. So I stood outside the door in the corridor, at the side, out of the way. And less than 5 minutes later, the lady who was talking to the receptionist who had no mask on came to me and said, oh, with a mask on though now, came to me and said, well, these are the rules, we have to wear a mask now, that's the blah blah blah. And I said, and she also said, oh, we're fed up with it all and everything. And I went, yeah, well, that's not my problem, that's your problem. You should speak to your boss. You should all get together and speak to your boss. Even on the back of the masks, which they wanted me to wear, the the medical sort of type ones, it even says on the boxes, it doesn't stop COVID. So, and it does. So anyway, I says, but if you want to have me ejected, you can call police, or I can just wait here in the hallway with pointing at other people with no masks on, as I did. And she went, okay, and went away. In less than 2 minutes, another nurse came up to me, she called my name, and took me straight to a room for my consultation with the actual surgeon. Now, I did that, all right. The surgeon, I explained to the surgeon, she says, yeah, it's a little bit crazy. I won't give her name. Thumbs up to her. But I did also mention that if it's a problem for you lot, you should also mention it to the higher above. And if you all don't wear a mask, then, you know, that's not what they're going to do about it. They can't sack you all, can they? But that's by the by. So anyway, I had to then go and talk to the anaesthetist, and I had the same rigmarole there. Went to reception because it was in a different part of the building, or a different building on the same site, and I had the same rigmarole there and sat in the hallway, no problems. Got spoke to an anaesthetist and everything, and that were all okay. Now, obviously, I went in for operation. And when I was in the hospital for the actual operation, on the ward, nobody were wearing masks. There were the occasional staff were wearing masks, but not all, and none of the patients had to wear masks. And then last week I went to have my dressings changed at the doctor's, excuse me, which you'd think I'd have the same rules, wouldn't you, as the hospital. Went there, no rules at all for wearing a mask in the waiting room at all. So there's so much like inequality with these rules and things like that, which it's just, I'm up to date with that now. I'm finished with masks. If they ask me to wear a mask, I just refuse, and if they want to have me thrown out, then they can have me thrown out. But I've just thought I'd share that with you, because I know some of you might agree or some of you might disagree, but that's my experience, and I thought I'd just share it with you. Cheers. Drop a comment in, thumbs up or a thumbs down, and you can always let me know what you think in the comments below.